The thing that I notice that happens more often, not at least when guys are coming to me, and I mean, I often deal with some guys that are like weapons right now. Like they make seven, eight figures, they run multiple businesses, and then they're like, "Yeah, but my childhood was fucked. You know, I didn't see my dad, or my dad was hit by lightning when I was young, or I was raised by a single mom, sort of thing like that." And they manage to figure it out at some point, but for the most part, these guys tend to end up being like nice guys. You know, they're mostly beta. You know, they do the whole, be a shoulder to cry on. You know, they try to friend zone their way into a girl's heart, sort of thing. Is that stuff that you experienced yourself, or was that something
Man.
that you had to reconcile to overcome?
So I don't remember who said it. I know it was somebody with a voice either in like Manosphere version now or before or somewhere. But somebody said something to the effect of when you if you grow up and you see women at their worst, it becomes very difficult for you to pedestalize them and be that guy. And I don't know what the experience of these other guys were, how nice and loving and kind their mothers were. I suspect they were good, solid people because my mom was not that person. I mean, I got a lot. I really value my mom. I think I'm gonna miss her when she's gone, but we have a good dialogue now. But that is because when I was from 18 to 23, I didn't talk to her. And I finally discovered forgiveness, and that plays a really big role in my life because forgiveness made everyone's life better. Not just for my mom to be able to talk to her child, but for me to not carry that poison or place that blame on somebody else from my adulthood.
Hmm.
When I was 11, this was the formative moment. There were tons of moments beforehand, but this was the formative moment. I watched my mom get arrested, and she didn't have to get arrested. She got super drunk. It is you not as usual, but it was a fairly regular occurrence. And she got into a fight with this woman, and she went out in the street and fought her. I remember holding her back from the door, trying to hold her back. My mom's a big woman, man. Like, and I'm 11 years old, so it ain't work. So she went out there, fought, got arrested, got booked for the night. Uh, so went to jail. Me and my sister, living by, stay by. So our mom was dealing with this. So my dad's in Philly. He don't know shit about this. Uh, and at that point, I was like, I'm gonna have to figure this thing out by myself. And it became very hard for me after that point to look at girls as something better than me.
Hmm.
So I never walked around with those nice guy tendencies. I think like I know what you're talking about. I see them. I never had them because that shit never served me.
Hmm.
Growing up, it definitely didn't serve me. Not only did it not serve me, but the one influence in my life, the main female influence in my life, uh, I developed a weird kind of disdain for a while. And you know where that manifests though, because no one makes out of childhood unscathed, man. We all come out with our issues. I went the other way, and that has its slew of problems. It's funny, me and my fiance joke about this all the time, that I was like a stray dog. Like you bring a stray dog in, and the old owners used to beat it and shit and then feed it,
Hmm.
and every time you try and be nice and pet the dog snarls at you. I was kind of like that. Now I'm way more domesticated, and that's a good thing because she's a very good woman and very patient. Uh, in me figuring out a lot of things, but that other end is not. That's the problem. I would imagine. And I don't know if you see this because I never coach guys in this regard, but I've always felt like when you grow up being real nice and you finally get your backbone, it's real easy to go the other way.
Hmm.
Okay, so my issue, I'm I, I'm naturally still because I don't like to be violent, and I recognize the power of that violence. So I will always avoid violence, and plus I try to think about the overall how the dynamic if we pop off into a conflict, and it ain't even got to be physical. Like even on the internet, you see how I am with people and the guys we've worked with, some of the spaces we've intersected. I wouldn't say I'm on the best terms, but I don't think I'm on bad terms with anybody because I recognize there's a price to pay for that. But and that has not always been the case, and I've had to really work to temper that to be even. You know, wherever you come from, you gotta balance it out. My issue was being very self-centered and not thinking about the things going on around me, because if I thought about things going on around me very often, at least until I got to high school, uh, you get taken advantage of or manipulated. And so I developed a way to live out different than that. To
Mm.
this day, emotional manipulation. Now she's figured out how to do it because she's smart and she's a good woman. But to this day, I'm like hypersensitive to anything that smells of emotional manipulation,
Mm.
and probably react disproportionately to it than I need to. But
Got it.
that's where that kind of comes from, and or rather how
Yeah.
I responded to not having father, because of my mom's influence. Was she was a parent, sure, but like there's a lot of things that she got very wrong, I think. But part of being an adult is you don't blame that shit.
Yeah.
Like how sad would it be if I'd be sitting here, in prison or something, and I'm blaming what happened to me 18, 20 years ago. I don't want to downplay the role of you being, how you were raised, but at some point, being an adult by definition, you got to take responsibility, and I think I've done that.